let's talk offensive line. How big of a need is the offensive line? I mean, it's the same old line as last season plus Alex Mack. That's what they did. Alex Mack's had a wonderful career, but he's turning 36, and the Falcons didn't make an effort to bring him back. Glitchy could rebound. All these guys could rebound or not. What do you think of the state of this offensive line?
I think obviously they need to have some depth. I mean, there's not much depth there. I do think they need to bring in some young bodies that they could develop. I am much higher on Alex Mack than you are. I mean, obviously we're saying age and whatnot, but as far as like what his skill set is exactly what the 49ers need. The 49ers offensive line fell off of a cliff because of the lack of play at the center position, right? Because the centers that we had were all injured. We were playing like a third, fourth string center. So I think just having that captain, that kind of like quarterback of the offensive line in Mac there that could call out the right reads and, you know, get everybody on the same page, I think is going to do wonders for the offensive line. I do think it's a need. Obviously they do need to draft some offensive line help. I just don't think it's going to happen in the first 3 rounds. I don't think it's as big of a need as running back and corner.
I feel like you could be optimistic about Alex Mack, that he's going to play at a high level for one more year, even though he's 36. Or you could be optimistic about Mike McGlinchey, that he'll bounce back and having a center with the line calls will help him. But I mean, that's optimism, and it's fair. And I'm not saying pessimism is any more realistic, but I feel like one way or another is kind of a leap of faith. And what you need to do is take a couple of offensive linemen in this draft. We can discuss where, but to protect yourself. I mean, what if McGlinchey doesn't bounce back? What if Alex Mack falls off a cliff because of age? I mean, he's a year younger than Joe Staley. So, yeah, I think it's an important need. I still think it's one of the weaker position groups on the team. And if they were to take an offensive lineman in round 3, where you wanted to take a running back, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a need. I think definitely needs to be, you know, addressed. I just think that, you know, when you talk about leap of faith, you could say that about all the draft picks too. There's a leap of faith to take a draft pick and think that they're going to come in and be a starter as well, right? Because so I just think that Alex Mack played very well last season. Obviously, we're comparing him to. There's a fall off because at his peak he was, you know, one of the best centers in the game. So obviously there's a drop with age, but he's still one of the top centers in the league, I would say. He doesn't make very many mistakes, and he has a really good left tackle that's on his squad, and he has, you know, serviceable offensive linemen as well that I think are there and playing in a scheme that he's really familiar with. I think it'll be fine.
Okay, see how it goes. All right. Yeah. Craig says, if we take Lance, does he start? What would stroke Kyle's ego more than getting to a Super Bowl with a rookie? I'm not convinced that he wouldn't beat out Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, again, like they say, he lacks experience. Well, the experience he had was in a pro style offense. That's good experience as opposed to whatever they do at Ohio State. And then the other thing is, like, decision making is not a question of experience. It's not. It's an intrinsic trait like running fast or throwing hard. And Jimmy doesn't have it. No matter how much playing time he gets, he's still going to be bad Jimmy 3 times a game, or he just throws the ball to the other team. And you're like, dude, what was that, Jimmy? So if this kid, Trey Lance, is the decision maker we think he is, then he can beat out Jimmy right away. I wouldn't rule that out.
It's just very remarkable to think that, you know, somebody who's under the age of 21 could not play football for a whole year and be able to start on an NFL caliber team that's, you know, pushing for the Super Bowl, you know what I mean, or vying for the playoffs. It would say a lot. I mean, he would have to be, I think, you know, LeBron James to be able to just come out, not be able to play football competitively for a whole year and then be able to do anything on an NFL team. I just think that's a big ask for a kid so young.